How can it be eliminated from the brain in 20 minutes? I'm assuming he's talking about LSD here. If its dissociation rate from the receptor is on the order of hours.
Great question. It's a great question, and I think what we're looking here is basically what is actually being excreted from the brain are LSD molecules that probably did not associate with any receptor. So basically, the ones that are attached, and the ones that are not attached just get eliminated very quickly. We have to remember that when you have a slow dissociation, that means that the signal is ongoing all the time. The receptor is constantly giving the signal, and that was my view into this, because it is something that I was really thinking about when I was looking throughout the data.
Beautiful. Question from Alex. What is the criteria for the test subjects for this study?
We don't know yet. It's something that it's still in development, and it's hard to answer at this point. There are going to be a number of factors that we'll have to consider with regards to the test subjects.
Makes a great deal of sense. From Clara, does LSD contribute to structural changes in the brain?
That's a question for an MD. It's a very good question. I don't know the answer to this. I think that the data is limited with what we have, but it's something that we should be on the lookout for.
Absolutely. To be discovered.
To be discovered.
From Monica, how can LSD microdoses be taken? Is there different methods such as intravenous, partenertal, oral? Which of them is the most common and effective?
Microdosing is, I think, if you're going to give anything intravenously, usually you're bypassing the first pass effect, and you're getting into the system a lot quicker. That could further reduce, the amount of drug that is needed. As we said, it does linger in the digestive tract. So I think that some of the effects that people have been discussing, if it's a placebo effect and a non-placebo effect, I don't know how, with regards to the weight variation between patients and so forth. So if you are going to test for microdosing, you would have to really settle on a specific route of administration, and also trying to figure out how you're going to ensure that when you're looking in between subjects, you're going to overcome all the differences that they have: body weight, metabolism. For example, if we're looking into cytochrome P450, if you drink alcohol, you drink grapefruit juice, it's going to affect how the material is going to be metabolized.
Makes a ton of sense. Let's get one more question in here, because you have a very robust Q&A. A lot of curious folks in this chat here. That's good. And if you don't get your question answered, you can always feel free to reach out to us and we can patch you in with Dr. Tal. Let's see. From Clara, could the same effects be achieved with psilocybin? And what would the economic differences be between the two?
Okay, that's also a good question. If you remember with the slides, different drugs occupy different spaces within the receptor. Thereby, the single transduction might be different due to that factor. Don't forget, 5-HT2A is a G-coupled receptor. Those receptors are really they're not susceptible, but we know that the orientation of the drugs really influences how everything is perceived. I think also in the broader picture, it's not just the 5-HT2A. It's the entire family of serotonin receptors. And I think each one of these molecules is hitting a different cue. It's like, if you think about it like not a receiver, a mixture that you have with sound, you have the treble, the bass, and everything. So basically each one is going to give you a different tone, but overall you're going to get the whole sound together. It's the same thing with the psychedelics. I think it's just kind of not an entourage effect, but the holistic effect of all the receptors together that transduces into the final experience. That's number one. And with regards to the financials, it all depends on how easily you can source the materials with regards to quality and price. Don't forget, psilocybins is in the milligram range, tens of milligram range. LSD is in the microgram tens and hundreds if we're not talking about microdosing. but it is much more expensive to synthesize. And if you're looking to obtain psilocybin through mushrooms, I'm not in the cultivation business, but I can say that the synthesis is not as expensive as LSD.
Beautiful. Well, Dr. Tal, thank you so much for being
Thank you,
a wealth
guys.
of
I
information.
greatly appreciate it.